Check 1 2, check 1 2. Miami on the rocks. Casey Chopz. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at MIA on the rocks. Follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Today's guest, I got Hazardis Soundz in here. Haz, what's up, bro?
Yeah. What's good, brother?
How you feeling,
doing,
bro? You good? For the people that don't know, Haz is the official producer for the Drink Champs with Nore and DJ EFN, one of the biggest podcasts in the world. Let's be clear. And you know, Miami native, right?
New York.
Oh, you're from New York?
Born in New York, but I've been out here fucking forever. So
yeah. And you grew up. You've been known DJ EFN for a minute, right?
Yeah. I met EFN back in like 04, 05.
Okay, and you come from the music background, right? And you've always been a producer musically, and then you've seen the whole podcast game take off.
Yes, sir.
And you know the whole Drink Champs thing came together, which has been, bro. You guys have made history. I want to give you your flowers, you know, because
thank you.
That shit is incredible, man. Like, first of all, let's start from the beginning, man. Like, what are your influences? Like, you came in and you started producing first, and who were some of the artists you worked with? Did you get into production when you moved to Miami, or was that something you did in New York?
Nah, see, so I grew up in New York, but I moved out here. I was still young, 11, 12 years old. So when I started getting into music, it was like in high school, you know what I'm saying, out here. And then after high school, I started, you know, fucking around with like, you know, we had a rap group. We were recording a little bit, you know, started making beats. And then...
Where'd you go to high school?
I actually went to a private school in Miami called Pace.
I know Pace, of course.
Yeah, I played football there, and you know, didn't really get into music till like my senior year. You know, rapping. I was actually freestyling. You know, all my boys, we were just like into the rap thing. Heavy hip hop had always since early. So then I went up to school in Orlando. I was about to go to Full Sail, but I didn't. So I came back.
It's a good move. I dodged the Full Sail move too. That 40 grand. And
I dodged that, and I went to SAE out here.
Me too. Yep. That's crazy on 163rd right there.
Yes, big up to SAE. That was dope. You know, that changed the game, because then I actually learned how to, you know, really do what I was trying to do, and like added polish to my sound. Started doing that, engineering like professionally right as soon as I got out the gate. I graduated like in 04. So, you know, I was out here in the streets just hustling beats, you know. Really didn't know anybody. So I was like going to like local hip hop clubs and shit. Back then it was like, I don't know if you remember like Garcia and like,
of course,
you know, Ross was just starting out with Triple C's, and it was just like, you know, a few hip hop, you know, like the hip hop scene was growing in Miami. And I would go to these local clubs handing out my beat CDs, and then one of the first guys that actually jumped on one of my beats was Garcia.
Fire. What year was this?
This was like, I want to say 04.
Wow, so you must be making beats on like an MPC at this time.
Yes.
And a Triton.
No, actually I already had FL Fruity Loops, but I did have a MPC as well. Okay. I did have an MPC as well. Yeah, so what happened was, right, I actually entered this contest. Be Real from Cypress Hill was taking like submissions for like upcoming producers, whatever. He was doing a mixtape. I submitted my beats, and he actually picked it out of like, I don't know how many. I was like, oh shit. So that was actually like my first real industry placement. It was with Be Real. Wow. So I was like, fuck it, let me get a Miami rapper on this, you know, and throw it on I started working on my own mixtape, you know what I'm saying? And I picked Garcia, and he did it. What
was your sound? What producer did you look up to? What would you say your sound was like at that time, if you had to compare it to another producer?
I would say like it was very hip hop ish, but at the same time, I was already like, I don't know. I would say like a mix of like Alchemist with like organized noise. Okay, because you came from New York, so people weren't really on that type of vibe down here, right? When you moved down, did you feel like out of place? You know, that boom bap hip hop. Well, that's what it was hard to find at. Right. So then when I ran into like Crazy Hood, you know, Crazy Hood, they've been hip hopped out always. Exactly. So that's like, oh, there is people down here making hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I actually also knew Gunplay growing up, so I would, you know, fuck with him as well. So those were like the early cats that I was messing with out here. And then, of course, through the Garcia relationship, I met EFN. A year later, I had a record with Garcia called Ahora that was on rotation on Mega 94.9. And EFN was like, fuck it, let me manage you. Dope. So I started rocking with Crazy Hood.
Dope. And what was that like, bro, in that era? You and EFN, like, you guys have been, you guys are staples in Miami, man. Like, big shout out to EFN, like, you know.
Big salute to
Kendall Boys,
EFN,
like, what?
my whole Crazy Hood fan, bro. I love those guys. Those are my brothers. And I was crazy back then. I mean, it was like, to be honest, I was like, shit, I'm already in. Like, we had 2 singles on rotation. We were doing, all the Calle Ochos, all the going to Power 96, the live shows, and they were showing love. So that was cool. I was like, oh shit, all right, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
And when things got super like southish with the production, 808s, and it got away from that like boom bap gritty vibe. Like, how was that transition for you?
Those records actually with Garcia were actually like Latin records, Latin hip hop.
Okay.
All right. So like it was one of them had Nore as a feature on it. But they were like Latin hip hop records. So I really never had to really go too far, like out of my comfort zone. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because the following year after that, that's when I met Nore in 06. He had just come off of his reggaeton stint, trying to come back into the hip hop. He moved to Miami, and he needed a place to record. So he used to come to EFN spot. I met him, and the EFN was like, yo, this is our engineer, Haz, blah, blah, blah. Recorded the first record with him. And after that, shit was history, bro. He was like, fuck it, you're going to be my engineer.
Fire, bro. What's your background?
Colombian.
Colombian, yeah? What part of Colombia?
My dad's from Cali, and my mom's from Barranquilla.
Fire. Yeah. You're like my boy, my boy Jamie, half Barranquillero, half Caleño. So you must be able to. You definitely know that they're in salsa, right? You probably get busy,
worlds, man. Well, not really, like, because the Caleños they take that shit serious.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different stuff.
It's a whole they get fancy with it, but I do my thing. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So did you ever dabble in like that like the reggaeton vibe, like you said, Nore, like in that early 2000s vibe, like? Nah,
like since he came off of that, he never wanted to really go back to it. So we were just doing hip hop. Never really like got into the reggaeton thing. Just recently, I started working with this reggaeton artist, Ñejo. He's Puerto Rican.
I know him, yeah.
Puerto Rican legend. But I still do hip hop trap shit for him. Right. So I don't really, because he does do reggaeton.
Right.
But when he comes to me, he's like, I need some hard hitting shit, trap, I want to rap, so I want to spit some bars, I got you. Boom.
It's crazy when that vibe, because, I would say the reggaeton vibe, the first era of it was like that 04 to like 07 era, and then it completely died out. Then 2014 it came back with like J Balvin, and it felt different the second time. I'm like, damn, this shit is here to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is about to take over.
That's when it went fucking worldwide.
Right when that shit happened, bro, I moved to Colombia. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, let me invest in like just, get my Spanish up, getting like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the music side of it, like really studying the salsa and all that type of shit, and yeah, bro, it's like a whole different game right here in Miami. I'm excited for the city right now because I always say, like, LA is where everything is at musically for like American English music, but I say Miami is the LA of the Latin market right now. Everybody lives here now, and it's like a global vibe right now. It feels good,
Nah, definitely. I like there's like a resurgence almost of like the Miami scene. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It has an identity again. Mostly Latin, but I also see like a lot of hip hop coming up too. So
So then let's fast forward into the podcast. Like, were you there from the inception of? Can you talk about the inception of Drink Champs?
Absolutely, I've been there since day one, episode 1. It actually goes back before that because we had a show on Sirius XM called Militating Crazy Raw Radio. That's if you want to think about it, that's the original Drink Champs. It was Nore host. EFN co-host. Well, they were both, they're both hosts. I was on the boards, and we had DJ KNS as the DJ.
And at this time, did you know what podcasting was? It was kind of new, right?
This was like, I want to say like, shit, like from 2009 to like 2012, 2011. The podcast, we didn't drop until 2016.
Okay. Yeah. So you're doing this on Sirius Radio.
Sirius Radio. And then that got cut. When they made the the merge or whatever, and then EFN was still pushing, like, so then the podcast started popping up. Like, this was like, I would say 2014.
I was gonna say, what were you guys doing in that time, like after the mixtape era, like like I would say like 2010 to like 2015? What is the vibe like for you guys? Just in the studio, trying to figure it out.
Trying to figure it out, working. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of dope shit going on. I was doing, my career was doing all right. because I'm also an engineer, so I do mixing. And, you know, I was working during that time. I was working with on the Cormega's album. I was working with MOP in New York. I was doing so. I was moving around. You know what I'm saying? While everybody, you know, I'm still working with Nore.
You're behind the scenes, moving and getting the bags.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's still working. Nore's dropping albums. But there was like no you know, the podcast hadn't hit yet. And then EFN was always like, yo, I want to do this podcast. I want to do this podcast. And he already had the name Drink Champs already.
Like the idea and the concept.
He already had the website. So he already had the vision. Because when we used to go do the other show, it was at his old warehouse in Kendall. And we'd always, like, it'd be like a hangout, you know? Like, had some on the playing pokers. We got the studio in the back. People pouring drinks. And then it was this thing that would be, whoever's at the end of the night still around, you're a drink champ. Because you survived.
Shit,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it would always be like, oh, you're not a drink champ when we play poker or play spades. If you lose, you got to take shots. Oh, you ain't a drink champ. Shit like that. So it stuck. Plus, Nore had a record that he dropped with Alchemist in, I forgot what year it was, but called Drink Champs. If you go look it up, y'all go look it up. You can stream that. It's on, just look up Nore Drink Champs, produced by Alchemist. And then EFN already had the vision. He started pushing Nore.
So EFN was like, I want to do a podcast. The concept is going to be, we're going to get fucked up on the show. We're going to call it Drink Champs.
Right.
And was the part of it like, we're going to interview, like, you know, the OGs in the game, the legends, and give them the flowers? Like, was that part of the concept as well from the inception?
To be honest, I think it was more of like to continue where we left off with the radio show.
Okay.
But we did want to have the guests. And we did want to have legends, so
got you.
You know, that's all. And
was Nore part of this, or is this now something we got to pitch to Nore and try to get him on board?
No,
too?
he was always going to be with Nore.
Okay,
but if Nore was so busy running around, he's like, yeah, we'll do it. But he never really like took it serious. Till one day, I think it was, he went to who was it? It's one of these guys. I might be wrong, but I think it was Peter Rosenberg, or one of those like early,
the Juan Epstein podcast, probably.
Really like a super early podcast, and then he saw the response he got from it. Might have even been Charlamagne. I forgot. It was one of those. But then he was like, I want to do it. So he was like, fuck it, let's go. Boom. And then we did the first episode with Fat Joe.
Wow.
And that shit just fucking
What year was that?
Viral. 2016.
2016. And damn, bro. So you coming from the engineering background, right? Doing music. What was it like trying to set up, you know, engineering for a podcast? Because this is something completely new for you, right? Like, as far as like the behind the scene technical vibe, like.
Yeah, but I mean, I was like, since I went to SAE, we learned all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They get you ready for studio, broadcast live. So, you know, it goes hand in hand. It's not, It wasn't like too much. I just, like the first few episodes, we did it in a studio, so I was like still at home. It wasn't until we started traveling. That's when I started like having like, oh shit, this is...
Be clear, we're both producers and engineers. We both went to SAE, so we're probably going to geek out on this if you're listening, like on some engineer, you know, dweeb shit. But like, they didn't have like a mix pre or a Rodecaster at the time.
Right.
So what are you doing? That you recording straight into a laptop with an interface, or
laptop? What the fuck? I was carrying the Audio Apollo in a big box. Every city we went to, I was carrying a fucking.
Yo, make sure there's not like a crackhead in my car, Ryan, just to make sure, bro, because that's like the second time. Like, Yo, the crackheads here are athletic. Like the Broward crackheads are different than the Miami crackheads, bro. Like they run 4.3s and shit, bro. It's crazy. All right, we good?
They put steroids in the crack on steroids.
Yeah. Nah, but so you're carrying around fucking big ass equipment and shit, like going city to city.
Yeah.
And this was when Drink Champs, like the brand wasn't proven yet, so I'm sure you couldn't get people to come to you had to travel, right, to get these interviews.
LA,
and shit.
Atlanta, we went everywhere.
Yeah.
New York, Vegas.
Damn. Can you name your top 3 Drink Champs episodes?
Damn, this is always hard. It changes every year.
Yeah.
It changes every year. I can give you top 3 this year.
We can't do this year. You got to do all time. Just like not in any order. Just 3, maybe your favorites. Right. I think I could give you mine.
I give you the last DMX episode we just did. 50. And
maybe like because you're a hip hop head, maybe someone that you were like, damn, like I grew up listening to your music, and now you know it's like that's everybody. Really,
I mean, I'm a super fan of Nas.
Okay, so that was dope.
A big one.
Yeah, that's how mine would probably Cam. That's how I felt with the Cam one.
Cam was amazing.
Yeah.
See, I fucking even forgot about that. Like,
Yeah.
so many they just
Yeah. Do you have any
even because it's not even always rappers. Like even like the Mike Epps episode to me was like one of my favorites. Like it was so funny and just like.
And you had Channing Crowder and Ocho Cinco and shit. That was
the I Am Athlete podcast. That was dope. Bro, I'm a Brandon Marshall fan. So
okay, now who would you say was the one guest, if you could remember, that got the most fucked up?
Well, it's got to be either Sadat X from Brand Nubian.
Okay. Damn, I don't think I saw that one.
Crowder, he fell asleep. Who else?
Just wobbling, walking out, maybe something crazy. They fell over, maybe something like they.
Yeah, Sadat X was walking on the way out. He was trying to rob people.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm trying to think.
Irv Gotti gets bent.
Oh yeah, he got lit.
He was bent,
and he was talking crazy.
He gets bent. Puff was bent too.
Yeah.
He started doing that. What is it? The pouring everything in the one cup.
Yeah. and was Cameron the only one that stayed sober?
Nah. We've had a few. Joe Button, Royce the 5'9" sober.
Okay.
We don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to drink. That's what a lot of people think. Like that you have to drink to come on Drink Champs. You don't. It's up to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love how you guys rep this. Like, I love how EFN is there and he's always planting the flag for Miami, for the city, man. Like, that makes me proud, because I feel like we get overlooked, like,
He always, that's home team. Like, he always makes sure Miami gets shouted out. Or
how do you feel about that? I mean, you consider yourself a Miamian, right, at this point?
Absolutely. No, I love it. I love it because he's absolutely right. Sometimes we get overlooked, like this whole 808 sound, it all started down here.
Exactly.
So I mean, I salute. I mean, to me, like EFN's like, he's just. I got mad respect for that, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there's not a lot of DJs that like break out of local and like can promote our city to the national. Right. To the national, audience.
Exactly.
So what's up for you? What's next for you? Like, what's on the agenda for you? First of all, Drink Champs. I mean, I'm sure you guys have ran into this problem that there's only so many, because your model is you interview legends, right? Yeah. There's only so many legends you can interview. I feel like you guys are, you're gonna have to start going into like actors now and like other legends and other fields and shit. Like, how do you sustain the model of Drink Champs?
Well, I mean, there's still a long list of legends we haven't even touched.
Oprah and shit like it.
I'm just saying, just in hip hop alone, there's still a lot. And if you think about it, the longer we go on, like every year you add on, there's somebody that's just became a legend. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So like,
it's like new inductees into the Hall of Fame and shit.
Right. So it's like, since we started, and when we first started, Migos were like breakout artists, but by now they're legends already.
Really? I don't like that. I don't know if I could call them legends already.
I would say so. They've done enough. They've been in the game a long time.
Legends. This is my problem with this generation, but everyone's calling everyone a GOAT. Everyone's calling everyone a legend.
How long have they been in the game?
That doesn't mean they're legend. Like nah, bro. Like Nas, Jay-Z, dudes was in movies. Dudes were in other like businesses and like it takes a lot to get called a legend, bro.
You gotta make room for new legends too, like young legends. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna become. If they're not legends yet, they will be legends.
I agree with you on that, but we can't call them legends right now. Like we could call Chris Brown a legend, We could call, that age range, Like I would call Bow Wow a legend before I called the Migos a legend. You know what I'm saying?
We had Bow Wow on the show already.
Yeah. So, and you guys have had producers as well, right?
Yeah.
Timbaland and
Swizz.
Have you guys had Just Blaze on there?
Did we? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Nah.
So is there like, what's the plan moving forward for the brand, for Drink Champs? Like,
we're just keep doing the interviews. We are like doing different, like you said, like different entrepreneurs and comedians and actors, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's not just rap. It's not just hip hop. So we're gonna continue to do that. That's Drink Champs are still on top. So why are we gonna? Yeah.
And I see like people evolving because at the beginning, like I'll be honest with you, it would be frustrating sometimes listening to Nore like interrupt everybody, you know, but you notice like his progression and he like, you know, like, so everyone was open to criticism and getting better and evolving.
Absolutely. Because if you think about it, we were just learning on the go. Like, nobody ever did this
before.
Whole
podcast shit is new, bro.
It's all brand new.
And people are getting like $60 million deals. These shits are looking like baseball contracts now, bro. You know?
Yeah. Like Joe Rogan and, you know, Spotify and
Budden, like with all his drama and shit. Like,
Budden,
you know?
He split his shit up. And then I see the other guys, what they called?
Rory and Mal.
They're like at the top right now.
You know what I think, bro? I come from radio. I think, I don't know if you're like familiar with that whole situation that's going on, but I think all that shit is
set up.
Yeah. I come from radio, bro. I could tell, like, you got to do fake shit like that to get people involved.
Those guys are like, I can see them doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I could tell, like, because that whole formula was getting a little old, you know, and Rory and let's like fake some shit, fake a big breakup, get all the views up. Now we're gonna make 2 podcasts out of it. Now we're getting double views. Now
double checks.
I see it, bro. I completely.
The first time they were on our show, Rory was like doubting that we were really doing that many numbers, and he's like, I don't know. I think the numbers are fixed, and you know, it's always like some like
fixed. But like, can you fix YouTube? I mean, I guess you could fix YouTube numbers, right?
I don't know. He was just talking, you know, like trying to make a controversy.
Yeah. How do you feel about like the business models of the whole podcast game? Like, I'm not gonna like ask you, you know, personal questions with y'all. Like, do you guys mainly monetize through advertising, or you don't have like an exclusive Spotify deal or none of that? Like,
we're on iHeart. Okay. So I mean, basically, you can sell the audio and you can sell the video. It's 2 ways right there, and then you could, and then sponsors, ads. You
guys never really did the ad model though, right? Like, you did. It never, but it always felt right. It wasn't like you were holding up like Pepito socks and like, yo, make sure you wear these socks. Like, you know.
Nah, but you hear EFN doing ads on there. Yeah. Okay. Because you don't see it on the
YouTube video.
You don't see it, and you don't see it on Revolt because it's on Revolt TV. But that tells you right there. That's a deal in itself. Yeah. Then you got the audio deal. Then you got, you know what I'm saying?
How would you compare the, you know, because people consume podcasts if they're going to watch it on YouTube or they'll listen to it on Apple or Spotify where they're driving to work or whatever. How is Drink Champs? Is it? Would you say it's kind of split, or do more people just listen, or do more people watch, or how do you think the?
That's a good question. I think it's both.
Okay.
YouTube, obviously, everybody likes to watch it, but not everybody's at home. People, like you said, people driving, truck drivers or whatever.
On the train and shit,
train, whatever. They just put the headphones and listen. But the thing about Drink Champs is that sometimes you hear the show, you're like, damn, I want to see how this actually... Damn, that part right there sounds crazy. I want to see what it actually looked like on YouTube. Yeah. So they go watch it. You know what I'm saying?
So, but you wouldn't know the answer to that question as far as like how many,
where it goes more.
Where your audience lives more, like on the audio side or the visual side.
I think visual, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, got you. And like you said, from day one, you started just you and what was the crew? Maybe you and 2 people, like starting out, and now it seems like you guys have how many cameras you guys set up? You got a whole thing, like
4 or 5.
And you have a whole crew, like is it like a whole team?
We got a whole team. It's like 10 of us.
Yeah. Wow, dog.
It's like 10 of us, yeah.
And do you do like what are your responsibilities? Just make sure the audio gets recorded smooth.
I do the audio. I mix it. I master it. I make sure it's, you know, everything's turned in on time. Make sure I do some of the bookings. I do make sure, you know, make sure everything's running smooth on set. Things like that.
So for the geeks listening like us that
quick time with slime, you know that little quick time with slime. That I write the questions.
Oh, like the segments and shit.
Yeah,
that's fire, bro. What so for the geeks out there that are engineers like us and shit, is there anything you do like specifically that you wanna? I don't know if you want to give away your secrets, but anything you do as far as EQ, compression, you don't add any effects. Like, is there anything?
I mean, I keep it raw because it's already a reverb like, from hell in there.
Yeah.
That's people always question like why you guys don't treat the room. But for one, it's a venue, Racket.
Right.
We do our show at Racket Bar.
Right.
So it's a high ceiling. You know, so the reverb is crazy.
It's like here, bro. Like It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
the
I wonder
reverb
if
is
I be
crazy.
wondering like if it bothers people that listen. If they like the average person driving to work, if it
Some people it does. Like, you know, I see the comments. They're like, "Oh, you guys sound like you guys are recording in a garbage can." Like,
Got
you
you.
know, they take the little shots, but at the end of the day, it's about the content. You know,
Right.
I mean, obviously, you want to hear it good,
Right.
So I try to do what I can. I try to get rid of some of the background noise, IQ.
they got this deverb effect.
Some
I
of
don't
the
know,
re-
you up on that? The deverb effect. They got a plug-in that you could kind of like get rid of the reverb a little bit.
A little bit, but it's
yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
You know, I take a dip at around like 380, 390 hertz.
Okay.
That gets rid of some of the room.
Okay. And as far as the mics go, I see mics like on the table, like, and then are they mic'd up lava mics as well?
Yeah.
So you use the table mics as just like kind of like just background supporting mics.
I use the table mics, to be honest.
Oh, so the lava mics aren't even really.
If I need it. If I
Gotcha.
need it. Like if I miss something, like sometimes when they get up, things like that. You see how I go like that, back away from the mic? But like people be like, how do you do that? Because I see people back away, but it still keeps the same level. It's just compression.
Mic hit, yeah.
I compress, you know what I'm saying? I compress the whole shit, and then it's little tricks here and there.
Gotcha.
Can't give away everything, but you
Yeah.
know.
How do you? Okay, and as far as the music side for you right now, are you you produce, like, you engineer?
Yeah.
Like what?
I'm producing.
What projects you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working. I just did a few records with Gunplay.
Fire! Shout out to Gunplay.
Yep.
I was in, it's crazy.
That's the fam.
You know Shula.
Yeah, I saw you in the video.
Dog, tell me how Shula hits me one day. He's like, "Yo, Chopz, it's gonna be a wild question, but for the new Rick Ross Gunplay video, we need a white guy to torture. Are you down?" I'm like, "Yo, run it, bro. Sign me up." Like, I'm there, bro. You know?
Yeah. Shout out to Gunplay. That's the family right there. Did a record with Jim Jones about to drop. Shot the video.
Dope.
Shula did the video. That's gonna come out.
Dope.
You know, still working with Nore, Capone, the fam.
Dope. Nore, that record, that recent record Nore put out sounded good, bro.
I produced that too.
That sounded good, bro. It
So
did.
you know, we're gonna keep him on that lane. You know,
Yeah, that sounded good, bro.
I did the one with Conway Method Man.
Fire.
Yeah.
How you feel about Griselda? I love them, dog.
Oh man, it's like I love them cats.
They're like the only ones that give me that feeling.
Yeah.
That like gritty, that make me make that face, you know? Like,
yeah. I like the new Lloyd Banks album too. That's dope.
really?
Yeah, you didn't like it?
Yeah, you know what it is, bro? Is that the hip hop that I wasn't really feeling the production. Like, the production is like those Griselda beats. They're dope because they're just so simple that they can let them flex. But I come from like loving Just Blaze, loving Timbaland, where there's a little more to the production. You know, a little more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I like the vibe of it. He's killing it. I fuck with it.
Well, he's gonna drop more music, which I'm excited for, which
Yeah.
I've been waiting for forever. You know what I'm saying?
I like the J. Cole. version.
Yeah, fire. J. Cole, fire. What else you feeling?
Shit, what else come out?
Peter Rosenberg's album was pretty dope. I like that.
There was a few joints on there.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm an R&B head, man. Her's album just dropped. I like that
Fire.
too. I love
Fire.
her. Yeah, man. You heard, bro. What else is interesting to me is you see Apple pushing this whole spatial audio vibe now. So I think, like, I've always thought to myself, like, why is surround sound unique to only a television experience? You know, we've always been stuck with stereo for music, you know, but now it seems like Apple is trying to give us a spatial surround sound vibe, you know. So now you can mix records and make shit sound in the back and the front, left, right, and all over the place now, you know.
Right.
And
which I've always tried to play with anyway, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I like fucking making shit fly from here to there, like, you know.
Yeah.
But now if it come from behind you on heaven, you know what I'm saying? That's dope.
Yeah. How do you feel about, like, just studio vibes in general? Because it seems like people are recording in hotel rooms now. People are like, you don't need an SSL anymore. It just looks cool in pictures.
Well, that's
like,
the only thing I didn't like about the Lloyd Banks album. If you hear his vocals, it sounds like he recorded in like a closet or like a room, like.
Got you.
Like, it didn't, you know.
Yeah.
It has like a weird.
Do those things work? Like, well, what are your takes on what are those, like, bubbles that they put on top of the mic, like, to try? They
I don't really fuck with it too much.
Yeah, right. But, like, as far as SSLs, you don't really need none of that shit. Everything is digital, right?
Yeah. Nowadays, you got plugins that give you the SSL sound, like.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it's like this close.
Yeah.
The average listener ain't gonna know the difference.
I want to see someone do an album. Maybe this has already happened before, but I want to see someone do an album and do everything analog, like back in the day. Like make the beat on MPC, make the beat on, you know, everything analog. because I noticed the difference in the music from back then and now. It's, you know, just
like a big difference when you hear it is like Dr. Dre. When Dr. Dre drops shit, you know he's still running
the
it.
snares like snap at you in a way.
He's still running it through the SSL 9000. Like, you know it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's still cooking on the MPC 3000.
I feel like you'll never get like your drums to knock the way an MPC will knock. No matter what you do on FL, no matter what you do on Logic, whatever digital compression you use,
right.
There's just something about like just the way the MPC, I don't know, bro.
I mean, if you got the time for it and the money, fuck it. Why not? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, like to load up an MPC, put this, like it's just.
Yeah, it just takes forever.
We're past that. I mean, the new MPC, I haven't really fucked with it, but I heard it's dope.
You know who
live?
You know who uses that is one of my idols of all time, and is still using an MPC, and they've used this from the beginning of the Heat Makers, Arsonists. You know what I'm saying?
Super dope.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
Which are they using? The new one or the old one?
I mean,
because they got the new one now where it's like
the new one with the screen that's going right to the laptop.
Right,
like
it's digital.
Yeah. So, but and shit, I'll say this. I think Jim Jones's album was maybe the Capo album. That was probably in my top 3 albums of the past like 5 years.
Nah, Jim Jones. I don't know what kind of water he's drinking, but he's kind of like
he's like in his he might be in his peak of his career, like as far as his
music,
solo.
The best music he's dropped solo for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, he's like on a run right now.
I agree, bro. I agree.
But I've noticed, like, you know, like people be counting these older cats out, and I don't want to say like older because we're kind of like But like Method Man, he's been killing it. Like just, you know, people count people out, but these guys are still amazing MCs. That never goes away just because they age. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. What's important to me is, and Jim Jones does it well, is Jim Jones. That, and he wears his age well. It's not like he's trying to be young. Right. He's still himself, and you know, he's the OG dropping gems, but he packages it in a way that feels new, but it doesn't sound like he's reaching to try to be something he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
Which is why I like the Nore record. You know what I'm saying? Because it gave me that new polish feel, but it was still Nore being like mature, not trying to be like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. No, it's Nore being him. He's not trying to be young, not trying to be just being him, and the sound is polished. Up, you know, up to date. So,
anything else you're working on? Has like
I got a new artist I'm working with. His name's Zachariah Messiah. He's dope. He's like a mix of like I would say like a young Buster with like kind of like you know that artist St. John.
Yeah.
Something like a mix of
melodic vibe,
like a melodic, but like you know what I'm saying. I'm doing some drill shit with him. That's dope. Dropping a single with him July 2nd. He's from Miami, but he's Jamaican.
Fire.
Yeah. You gotta stay tuned for that. And just, you know, still mixing. I'm working with I'm mixing Cormega's new album, working with him again. So he's always got some fire.
Do you think about like the way you think of like artists that have talent? Do you think of like, damn, you should start your own podcast now that, because you're like, you know, like you're a podcast producer too, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's a big space
I'm actually
right
also, speaking of podcasts, I'm Mara La Negra. I'm working on her podcast as well.
Okay. Yeah. She's dope.
Yeah.
Damn, that's what's up, dog.
So it's like a love and hip hop thing.
What as far as like these new rappers and their whole aura and their whole vibe, like, you know, everybody's trying to be tough, and you know what it is, I'll be honest with you, because you know we've had all these recent like shootings and shit going down in the city, and
a lot of violence,
a lot of violence, and hip hop has always, we grew up on, they always rapped like that. They always rap, but it feels different now. Something about the way they're rapping, and something about the way they're just showcasing it more, and they're just, before it would be like, you know, when Biggie did it, it would have like mafioso undertones to where like they would talk about this type of content, but it wasn't like so like guns in your face, and it feels different now.
Well, it wasn't like Biggie was gonna run up on somebody and shoot him. Nowadays it's like these rappers who are flashing guns in videos, which is I see in all these young kids' videos. Right. And it's like, I mean, I think that's just where everything's led up to. It's like, you know, it's just, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's where it's at, you know? Yeah. So it's like a destructive phase of hip hop. The drugs and the violence.
But it's always been there, you know what I'm saying? It's always been drugs, you know? It's always been gun talk, you know what I'm saying? And back then they did the gun talk way doper, and they used analogies, and you know what it is? I say this all the time. I say like back then when you wanted to say some slick shit, whether it was like some, you would say something and imply it. You wouldn't say it so direct. You know what I'm saying? You would say like a double entendre. You would say like a little, you know, but now these kids are just straight up like, you know,
well, it's like a whole movement, like the whole Chicago drill. And
that's what started it, you know?
Because it's like, they're like, instead of like you saying like a double entendre where they just sneak it in, they're like, no, I'm going to run up on you and shoot you when I see you.
Like that. That's how they say it.
That's how
Like,
they say it.
Yeah.
And then it happens. You know what I'm saying? So it's like KRS said, you gotta be careful what you say on the mic, because you do attract it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So these kids are running around making raps about how they're gonna shoot each other all day. Guess what's gonna happen?
Right.
It ends up happening. Look, it's just.
And it would be more of a balance, right? So you would have like the Locks like doing all that type of shit, but then they would do some shit with Mariah Carey, Honey, or you know what I'm saying? They would do some shit for the girls, and it wouldn't just be that. You know what I'm saying? Now it just feels like it's only that. Now they're doing R&B songs, like gun talk R&B songs. You see that? Like the new records, I think they remixed Fantasia shit, where like When I See You, like, but it's like on some gun talk, but they're like singing like R&B, like with like, you know, like
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'm not like for it, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like
something's got to change, bro, because I don't see it getting better. Like with the shootings have been crazy, bro, in the city recently.
What it takes is one of these young kids to just go a different route. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like the artist I'm working with. He's not on that gun talk. You know, like he's like, you guys will see it's different. You know what I'm saying? But it's artistic, which is I just want the artists to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? So if I see them be themselves and they're being artistic with it, and they know how to express themselves, I fuck with it if it sounds good. Right.
Or if that's you, that can't just be you. Like, what else is there to you? Because it's not just gun talk. Tell me more about your life. Like, it's got to be like, how do you involve, like, what's your love life like? Tell me about that. What's your family life like? Tell me about that. Tell me your struggles. Tell me everything. Your whole day can't just be, I want to kill people. Like, that can't be what, you know what I'm saying? Like, give us a more well-rounded content.
From what I've seen, I've worked with a lot of artists in my life. And one thing I notice about artists that are dope is they're all intelligent human beings. So if you're a smart person, an intelligent human being, you're not going to just throw your life away, especially when you got something good going for you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So the artists that I deal with, I've always found a way, like almost like mentoring them. Like, like, look, bro, you got all this going for you. I know you're in the streets. I know this and that, but let's start getting away from that and start focusing more on what is going to get your family out of that situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they listen, and the ones that at least that I fucked with, you know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like they get back into their and
maybe they feel like they have to make that type of music too, maybe, because that's all it is.
That's all it is. And then they go back into like their hood, and then they got their boys behind them, and then they go right back into the same shit. So it's like it's like a tug of war.
Yeah.
So it just sucks, but
anything? Are you interested in like the Latin side, getting into that a little bit more, a little bit deeper? Like
definitely. There's a lot of artists I want to like work with on that side that are dope too. But yeah, little by little, I
started gravitating toward the Latin stuff, man, because I felt like hip hop was getting a little too. The word I always like to say is like sleepy. Everyone's on like some downers. There's no energy. There's it's all low tempo type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're from Miami. We grew up on a lot of dance hall. We grew up a lot of like dancing music, like that 90 to like 100 BPM. You know what I'm saying? Get the girls moving again. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of fell in love with the whole reggaeton movement recently. Like the whole second resurgence of it, because people are moving, people are dancing. There's like energy in the music. It's feel good, and like when I'm DJing in the club, like in Wynwood and shit, I'll be playing all that, Lil Durk and all that, like 70 BPM, like I'm gonna shoot you and kill you type shit. But like I gotta go 10 minutes with that, then I gotta go back to like the dance hall, get the girls moving again, and going back and forth between the vibes. You know what I mean? Like I just want to see more of but we're lucky in Miami we have that to where we could go to the Spanish like dance hall reggaeton vibe to balance it out. But when you go to like Atlanta and you go to these other places, that's all they have is like that trap strip club. I'm gonna shoot you, kill you shit, and it's like.
So I kind of enjoy the Cali scene too because they have a little more variety out there.
Yeah, they had. Yeah, they're like their comfort zone is like that 90 BPM, West 90 Coast. To 1. Yeah, that West Coast hyphy vibe.
Like I'm actually want to bring back some of that like old school Miami.
I talked about that with Walshy Fire. I talked about this with Laz. Like, you know what I say, Haz? I say, like, if there was a young kid, right, who looked good and had a look to him, and we just made him a beat that was 150 BPM fast, right? And we just say, we play him an Uncle Luke song, but don't be like Uncle Luke. Just understand this type of energy and just channel it on this type of beat. Visually, we'll pitch the Miami lifestyle, hop on a jet ski, hop on a yacht, you know what I'm saying? Sun, palm trees, women, And I think we could make that look cool again if we find a kid that is down to experiment. But all these kids are Me Too's. They just want to be like what the trend is right now.
So I want like a Miami like bred like. What are we always talking about? Like a female, like maybe even a dope female that can even carry that vibe. You know what I mean? Like,
which is why I really like the new City Girls record where they took the twerculator and they resample. That's like a 128. You know what I'm saying? BPM, and which feels amazing as a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
I went back to some of the old samples and I was like, you know what, this shit's dope. Like some old Poison Clan dance all night.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
That shit is hard.
But then it's like, because back then that tempo and that speed never broke out of Miami, right? But I think now, given like
I made it to Atlanta. The furthest I made, I think, was Atlanta.
Okay, and a little bit of Texas, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But like, I think now, if a Miami kid is where women looks good, palm trees, boats, jet skis, and people want to live that life visually, but there's an audio aspect to it, a music aspect that's new, fast, and matches that. I think New York, I think Cali would be like, wait, let's try this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think this era, it could have the potential to blow up like it couldn't in the other era.
Well, let's make it happen, bro. Come on,
let's do it. We just need to find one of these young kids that's down to just listen.
Yeah,
like just listen to us. Like you know, be you, but just package it how we're telling you to package it. You know what I'm saying?
We got the new JJ Fat.
The what?
No, we always clown because we got these shorties that we mess with. We're like, we're gonna make y'all rappers.
We could do it. Yeah, what do you mean?
No,
I feel like that's what they did for the City Girls. Like,
that's what they did. Just pen the shit for them.
Bro.
They got the look.
Pen a little chant. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's more about the visual anyway, bro.
It is, bro.
Make it look cool and
dress them nice, boom.
You could be burping on the record. No, people start burping on the record if the visual looks good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You see a TikTok on the.
Yeah. The burp challenge, yo. I hope that's not where we're going, but. Damn, Hazardis Soundz. Plug your social media, so people can follow you.
At Hazardis Soundz, HAZARDIS, and Sounds with a Z.
Dope.
Hazardis Soundz all across the board. Holla at me, you know what I'm saying? Also, I got my production company, Hazmat Productions. We're looking for artists, producers, engineers. Fuck with your boy, man.
Let's do it. We got to link up, bro. Do some music, bro. Because that idea, like I keep talking about it, but I want to do it. We got to make it happen.
Shit, you in the clubs and all that?
Yeah, I'll have every DJ in the city playing that shit if it's right, you know. Haz, my brother, I appreciate you, though.
Yo, thank you, brother.
Let's get it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Miami on the ride.
Drink champs.